Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another week of deck report. Today's gonna be a little bit different. I'm going to showcase you two decks that are built instead of just one. The number one reason is I really didn't make any real changes to Centurion outside of one small change, and right now the format is kind of stale. I feel like until we see like hit in the ban list or we see Legacy of Destruction be like revealed with either the exclusives, the rarities, or like stuff that we are going to foresee next month. Um, I'd say that we're pretty much at a point where there's nothing really to like figure out. Like almost all the decks that are in the format are kind of solved. I haven't done a YCS recap of Sydney as well. I'm a little bit behind on that, but I do want to talk about it later on because the format is getting to a point or in a pace where people are already figuring out how to counter the main strategies, and we're slowly moving away from like a dominant format of fire into like a very small mixed format between fire and those anti-fire decks. Um, but yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So I'll just show the Centurion list and then I'll talk about tier elements in a moment. So three Primera, two Trudea. I lowered it to two. Emeth, Lebellion, Magna, Druis, and Boldrake. Uh, I've been liking Boldrake more and more as of late. Uh, like this card is becoming my go-to search target for Magnamut instead of Druis Worm, which is kind of weird to say. Triple Veiler, Triple Crow. I don't think this is gonna change anytime soon. Um, Ghost Ogre, and then Triple Vision Resonator. Triple Stand Up, Bonds, Triple Oath, Three Talents, uh, one Crimson Gaia, one Branded Regained, Triple Imperm, Phalanx, and a Toot of the Branded. Uh, I'm actually been using this card a little bit more than usual as of late. Pairing this with Boldrake is actually kind of strong because essentially what it means is whatever your opponent uses as a material gets banished, and the Boldrake itself can banish whatever was summoned, like from the extra deck. So on that regard, this kind of becomes a little bit strong with this card because it kind of like puts your opponent in a very weird situation whenever they're trying to like uh, fuse or like link or whatever with their monsters. But yeah, um, that's pretty much it for the main deck. It is now exactly 40 cards if you count all of it, which I kind of like. It's been a while since I had a main deck at 40, and all these cards pretty much are worth it. So as to what happened uh, this week I went to locals. One of the games that I did play is posted on EJ Gaming's channel. I've already posted it in the community tabs. Feel free to check it out. Essentially, I was playing against Voiceless Voice, and yeah, not only did I lose on camera, but I also lost against multiple voiceless voice throughout this week. And it's kind of unfortunate because the matchup is favorable on our side. However, sometimes we just don't draw the right cards, or they draw the right cards from their end. And the issue with Voiceless, as I stated last weekend, when I built the Kashtira Goblin Raider deck, uh, Voiceless is really good at remaking their board if the game is forced into a simplified game state. Uh, like under a simplified game state, that deck becomes like very strong, and there's not much you can do about it whenever that happens. I guess for the side, we have three Droll, three Ash. That doesn't change. It hasn't changed. Three Cosmic. That also hasn't changed. The one Feather Duster. Uh, Triple Thunder and double Judgment. I kind of want to like play deck lockdown again. However, I feel like most of these cards are necessary. Iron Thunder is not that necessary, but I feel like everything else is, including the Ash Blossom and the Drolls, just because you kind of want to find a way to swap out all your Bestials for other hand traps in the right matchup, if it so fits, or maybe just pair it alongside Bestials. Extra Artemis, Dark SP, Chaos Archfiend, um, Berserker, Baron, Dispatter, Xinyan, Angel, Red Dragon, Calamity, Crimson, Legatia, Ding, and Sky Crisis. I've been summoning this card a lot more against Fire Kings, specifically Snake Eye Fire King, uh, like specifically the Fire variant. This card is actually really strong. Uh, like for starters, it cannot die to Promethean Fire Princess, which is a really big deal. It also does not die to Kirin. It does not uh, the banish effect does not target, so it can bypass the voiceless voice effects, like the protection effect of the barrier. Uh, Alongside Bestials, this card has a lot of synergy as well. It also has synergy with SP Little Knight, which is one M board that I did, or one board that I did to try to like break through my opponent's board. So in this past week, this card has overperformed. I'm going to say that right now. I think this card is. If you have space for this card in your extra deck, you should really consider it because right now it's working. It's working super fine for me. I think everything else is the same. Another card I've been summoning a lot more as of late is Dispater. You'll probably see it in the video, me facing Voiceless, but something that I've been doing as of late is I'm summoning Crimson Dragon instead of like the Centurions, and I'm using Crimson Dragon to target any other like level 10 synchro, for example, Baron the Floor or Chaos Angel, and just uh, put itself back in order to just summon the Dispater. And this is actually really cool because since that is a bestial monster, you can just have it alongside the Tour of the Branded, and Tour of the Branded is live, meaning you just floodgate like whatever they're using as materials out of the game. So yeah, that's it for Centurion. Not many changes, but outside of like how was the deck being played. So as of recent, I did a video it was pretty much a PSA talking about tier elements and like their position in the format and whether or not you should be playing it. I kind of wanted to experiment the deck myself. I might take it to locals like on the next coming upcoming weeks, but Tearlaments is a very weird spot right now. Like it's a deck that cannot play hand traps a lot, which is a really big problem because in this format you kind of need hand traps in order to play like your strategy optimally. And uh, this deck it doesn't have a ceiling as high as Snake Eye. However, the ceiling of this deck is should be fairly well fit for other matchups. The other really big problem this deck has right now is that Bestials are in the format. People are citing Bestials or may even maining them in some of their strategies, like I am with Centurion, giving this deck a very hard time if they just start aiming against your monsters with their Bestials. Nonetheless, I still wanted to show you the deck list that I made because I have played it once or twice, and I've actually done very well with this deck, at least in testing. I've sacked my way out of a few wins, but you know that's how tournaments roll these days. But yeah, so for the list, uh, three Rhino, three Tier Cash, and the three Sirens. That's pretty much standard. Nothing I need to say there. To pair the Tier Cash, we are playing one Fenrir, and we are playing one Raid Soth. Uh, I'll talk about Raid Soth once we get to the spell cards. But yeah, I just felt you really don't need any more than this. Uh, I might make a video on this in the future, but Fenrir is not really that good this format, which is very weird to say because I think in the OCG this card is forbidden. So it's hard to talk about a card that should be splashable in many decks not being as splashable anymore. So that's it for that portion. I am playing punks, so I'm playing two Z Almonds, one Deer Note, and one Foxy Tune. I really been liking Foxy Tune a lot. Uh, I I keep opening Foxy Tune instead of the three emergency teleports that I'm also playing in the deck. But yeah, I've been liking punks. I think punks really share a dynamic with this deck. It gives us the ability to summon Baron if we go for Fenrir or Tier Cash. It also gives the Foxy Tune the ability to just uh, send cards out of your hand to the grave. It can trigger Soliek, which is something I really like. It triggers like meta noise if it needs be. It can trigger all your tier monsters. Uh, so yeah, I like this package. I think it works perfectly fine. I guess we can pair that with the Fusion Parasite. This gives us the ability to play Fusion Parasite in our deck without playing the Skirkla portion. And Fusion Parasite is a really cool, really good card because it gives us the ability to make either roll Kalos or it gives us the ability to make Grapha. So I am playing Horus. I'm playing three Seti and one Happy. Usually, people debate whether or not you should be playing Punks or you should play Horus. I opted to try both because they both each have an individual purpose. And the other thing that convinced me to play both is that both are a means to an end to summon the zombie vampire. Zombie vampire to mill into your deck is actually really strong. You can end up milling like the right cards, or you can end up just fielding for your Horuses or stuff like that. So just having two engines that can both get you to vampire is actually pretty cool. And it also gives you the avenue to try other things like in the strategy. So uh, Horus is slightly better than Punk, but I decided to play both pretty much. Uh, I want to make sure that the strategy is as consistent as it can be with engine cards. Uh, it does have a few bricks, like for example, you don't want to see Deerno in your opening hand. You also don't want to see Happy in your opening hand either. But it's one of those risks that you have to take when it comes to like playing this deck. I'm playing Danger Nessie. I am not playing any other Danger. In hindsight, I should be playing Mothman. However, Nessie only has one purpose in this deck, and is because it's an Aqua monster. If your opponent ends up just sniping Nessie, if you just use the hand effect, like uh, is a little bit unfortunate. But at the end of the day, the Nessie just falls into the graveyard, so it works out that way. And then the last monster is Emerald Tortoise, which kind of already tells you that I am playing Rainbow Bridge. So I feel like the Rainbow Bridge package should be played in this deck. You'll see that I am playing three different field spells. So it gives you the ability to just pick and choose between whatever you want to see as a priority. Another really cool thing about the bridge, it like the Horus engine minuses you if you play like the Imperial Tombs, and this equalizes what you're minusing. So, uh, pretty cool thing there. Talking about Rainbow Bridge, let's go with the spell cards. The first spell card that helps tutor to Rainbow Bridge is Triple Foolish Goods. Uh, so not many people like playing this because it is a bad card to mill. However, I feel like you want to be you want more consistency rather than luckier mills. Like this deck already has a few bricks. This deck already has like a natural high ceiling using like a few engine cards that are pretty much engine requirements. So just having a card that can help you tutor out to your engine like comfortably. It doesn't specifically have to be Rainbow Bridge. It could be something else. It's really really strong. Another really cool thing about this card is if you're going second and you're playing against an established board, you can send the Black Goat trap using Foolish Goods, and essentially you're just turning you're turning Foolish Goods into like an imperm or sort of sorts, or basically a card to just shut down effects for the turn. Uh, Cards currently on the field, of course. So yeah, there's a lot of merit into playing this card. I think if you're playing a deck like this one, if you're playing tournaments, maybe Light Swarms in the near future after like the release of the new support in Legacy of Destruction, you should really, really, really consider playing Go To Laughs in your deck. Also, Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. Like those are two cards that I kind of highly vouch for. But yeah, three goods. So I'm playing two Pearl Rhino, uh, the one Raid Soth, and the one Imperial Tombs. That puts us in a total of four field spells, which are three different ones for the Rainbow Bridge. And they all have their own unique purpose. Like with Pressure Plant, you either add Fenrir or Tear Cash. I don't have to explain Pearl Rhino, but I kind of not didn't want to play three. And then there's Imperial Tombs, which already explained earlier. Just having um, the engine of Rainbow Bridge kind of circumvents the minus out of this card. It's also really cool because Imperial Tombs is good in the sense that it can put your bricks like your natural engine requirement bricks back into your deck, so you can do whatever strategy you want to do, involving those cards already in their main deck instead of your hand. We already talked about triple teleport. That's part of the punk engine. Two gold sharks, also part of the Horus engine. The last spell card in the deck is triple scream. Uh, since you cannot play hand toss in this deck, you kind of want cards that help you play around your opponent's disruption. This card helps you chain block. It lowers the attack of all your monsters your opponent has. This card likes being used to apply pressure against your opponent. And in the worst case scenario, you can dump it with foolish goods in order for it to be like a trap searcher in the options that you already have, like an established board or established game plan. Now we go to the trap cards. I do have quite a couple, as you can see here. So the first trap card is Triple Soliac, one Meta Noise. I know a lot of people don't like three Soliacs, but I kind of want three for the exact same reason that involves Foolish Goods. I just want to consistently be able to tutor out my deck in order to either keep milling cards or just like establish the board with the cards that I've already had on hand. However, just having the ability of just sending this, be it Foolish Goods or like Foxy Tune or other examples, just to tutor out your engine properly, is just really strong. And then we play Meta Noise. I'm not a fan of Meta Noise, in game ones. However, Meta Noise does fill a second purpose in this deck. Not only just the like setting effect, but the recover effect from graveyard as well. And there's another card that we play in this deck that kind of gives Meta Noise like more respect because of the synergy that it naturally has. We're on 3 Needlebug Nest. I really like this card. I think if you're playing a mill deck like Tier, and you have space for this card in your deck, you should actually definitely should. Um, I don't regret this choice. This card is also really good in the sense that like it can send your Soliacs, it can send the Meta Noise, it can send like cards like for example Trippy Karma. It can end up milling like the Black Goat trap as well. So overall, I'm kind of satisfied with these traps. I'm also satisfied with Fiend the Comedian. I am playing one copy, and I am set with half of these cards because I am playing Transaction Rollback in my main deck. So if you haven't done the math, we are at 50 cards with this list. Like I kind of didn't want to go above 50, but at the same time, I wanted to mitigate the amount of like in-engine bricks as possible, meaning that you kind of have to play more than a 40 card deck in order to make that possible. Uh, the side the extra deck is incomplete. I just pretty much moved cards from the other extra deck to this one. So for example, we're missing Typhon and SP, which is on the other deck. But we have Cross Sheep, Baron, and Mantis are the only synchros. We have Grapha, Rule Kalos because of Parasite. We have Kaleido Heart. We have Garura, uh, Mudragon, and Stapelia. Uh, if you haven't figured it out by now, these cards are all naturally, you can naturally summon these cards in the deck. However, if I were to play this deck in an event, I would definitely side deck Super Polymerization, which gives us the avenue of either of these two cards. Other potential options that I thought about in like the Astro deck, well, you have to play Vampire. Like I think Time to Redoer is a card that is naturally played in tier. And then another card that I'm been contemplating on is Abyss Dweller. I feel like if you can end your combo or end on whatever board you want to make, and it has a Abyss Dweller in it, you should be doing fine against like Snake Eye Fire Kings, because this significantly lowers like the ceiling of their deck. They cannot, like for example, they cannot uh, trigger Arvada if it's destroyed. They cannot trigger Garunix if something's destroyed. They cannot trigger Kirin either. Uh, it 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 shuts down Flamberge, which is another really big deal. It shuts down Poplar's effect, meaning they cannot properly chain block if what they ever end up like flubbing on the summon. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it for tier. As I explained earlier, I think that the biggest issue tier has right now is that it cannot really compete with Snake Eye Fire King with just their engine. Um, and, but yeah, uh, that's pretty much it from my end. I hope you found this video like to your liking and satisfaction. More videos involving like these affirmation decks later in the future. Keep practicing and keep dreaming. Um, keep dueling. Yeah, that. Uh, yeah, that'll be it. Later.